lived with that for years. And it's like,
Oh, your brother molested you?
I told you that from the beginning. That's why I was telling you. Remember when I was having a conversation with you years ago? I said my aunt attacked my dad and my brother molested me and all this shit. And then when I was down in San Diego, my sister was like, "You gotta squash him, brother." I was like, "I don't have to play." Sorry. I gave a chance to apologize. He died. And I said, "Okay, cool." I
And
just stopped talking to him. Cut him off. And he was calling me, and I wouldn't answer the phone. And so my sisters were like, "You gotta forgive and all this shit, right?" I said, "What if it happened to your kid?" And my younger sister said, "I would fuck that nigga up." But so she was like, "Okay,
she
I understand."
she backed up, right?
No, she said, "I understand."
Right.
And then
I
the
mean,
other
she
two,
backed up. That's what I mean. She backed up,
yeah,
basically.
but then the other two sisters, they were like, "Oh, you gotta forgive it," and da da da. And then, matter of fact, when I was down in San Diego with the second sister, she was like, "Your brother want to help out, and he want to come by here, but he don't know how you fit." And she was like saying, "Give him this and that." And I looked at her like, "Oh, oh." And that's when I got quiet. So that's why I said, when they said controversial stuff, I didn't respond. And what they were trying to do was get me to talk and say, "Okay, yeah, I forget." I'm like, and I told my older sister, like the first one, and she was like, "We were from a dysfunctional family, but you gotta forgive that sometimes." And I said, "Let me explain something. He abused my trust. He abused all this stuff, and then he did that to me, and I can't forgive him." Then I gave him a chance to come clean, and then he denied it. So I have no brother. And so then I said, so then we were talking, we were talking different times. She said, because she was my stepsister. She's really not even my sister. My dad, he's older, so he was married before by a while. And then his wife had a daughter. She was like 7 years old, which is my sister's mom, stepsister.
Right.
So he raised her. And then at 15, she had my older sister, right? And then my mom had beef with both of them. She was like, this young girl had a baby, so she left the baby with them to raise. So the brother and her, they're like the same age. My brother and her are like a 1 year apart. So my dad was just, he just raising kids and whatever. He had tripped. And then then us came along 11 years later because we got a 11-year gap. So, you know, she's really not even my sister, but we didn't say it because she was raised with us and all that. So I was like, okay. But, so she was saying, so my mom was really abusing her. And then she used to strike out. She used to fight once. So she was going to go there to fight. kind of like, she was like the top daughter. That wasn't really the daughter. It was like illegitimate kid. So she said, I saw a lot of stuff that was fucked up. They got brothers, they kind of showing it about faith. They don't keep it up. And so she was like, she said to me, my mom, whatever, said, he'll save me. She said, pray for my mom. She said, it would have been worse if he had stepped in. By the time he would take, he would step my mom over there or whatever. And I said, it's going to have a different reaction. You bad, and he felt like, well, we were the kids of my dad, right? So my older sister that's 2 years older than me, and I got my younger sister 2 years younger than me. So we were, my mom and my dad had us. So imagine having these older kids, they were adopted. They weren't even adopted, they were just like, they were living with them, because they were by my different dad. And my dad, of course, he's showing, because these are his kids. These are all his kids. Even the kid that before she brought the previous marriage, they weren't his kids. So he's going to be partial to his kids. But my dad was cool to take care of everybody, right? So he didn't really trip. But my mom was like the enforcer. So she was kind of like, hey, it's fucked up, da da da. So she was like, my brother saved her. And I was like, well, see, now, there's the problem right there. Your relationship with him was he saved you. So I can see why you partial to him, but nigga did this shit to me. So I want you to understand where I'm coming from. So I explained it. I said, this will never be happen. It'll never come to fruition. So don't try to push me to this thing. So just let me know. Let you know. So imagine somebody raped you and he trying to come back into your life. And you said it and got get that. What did you do? You got arrested. You don't know how you feel. And you here, and I don't want this drama in my house, so I told him don't come over here. I don't want this drama at my house unfolding right now. You did the right thing, and I think I told you how I feel about it. And nothing's changed. I'm not going to forget it. I gave it a chance, and fuck it. I don't have a brother, so I'm only going to say that one time. I'm going to say it again, because I don't want to this shit be triggering in my head. And I said, man, I looked at all this shit that I had to deal with for years caused this illness upon me. So I'm not going to harbor and carry evil shit. I've cut the loose, and he's out of my life. So stop trying to bring motherfucker back in my life that did shit. So I want you guys to understand what the fuck I'm doing. There's a reason why he's out. So stop trying to get me forgiven. I'm not going to do it. I look at it. I kind of try to figure the reason why he did it. I trust. And I'm like, dude. And I said, and I told Bud, was what happened. And she said, just say no. And she said it blew it off like a joke. And then I heard her talking to one of her sisters and said that I better Rudy Poo. She knew
you not a who?
Rudy Poo.
What?
A little gay motherfucker. Because she was like, I found her. He was kind of in the jacket. So she's telling her sister, and she discussing it with someone else outside the house. And I overheard her talk on the phone. And so evidently I told you this shit and you went and told some other people about it and you threw me off. And I'm looking like this. If my dad or my uncle would have found out, it would have been a crazy throwdown. And they would have kicked him out of the house. So my mom, she's like, okay, I got the stepson here doing this shit, and I can't tell nobody. I gotta keep the family. But then she was doing foul shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like,
So you saying that she didn't protect you?
yo. And then here's the thing: when I discussed it with my sister, it was pregnant. The two that was from the same dad. I told them, and they said the younger daughter, the younger sister, she was like going to chat. So she was like, "Mommy, all right, I understand. I know." So then my older sister was like, he tried to do it to me, but mama came and what was that? And I said, why did she protect me?
And
you guys probably knew what was going on. And Rochelle was like, she was young, but she didn't know. But I said, you do. You do. And you let it continue. And then mama protected you. She didn't protect me. And she figured I'd shake it off. Or whatever, I don't know. She didn't want to bring shit to my dad. Because that would have been just like chaotic. Because they were fucking heads anyway. When he first moved to the house,
right.
it was like my dad and my brother, they were fucking heads. And at that point, we probably would have kicked the ball out. Like, fuck this shit. This shit ain't gonna go down on my watch. And then my uncle, he was gangster. He was like, I fucked somebody up. We were like the thing. So if he would have found out, he would have probably made the shit. So my mom, I think she was doing whatever. It's like everybody just trying to bust on excuses. And I'm like, what about me? You didn't deal with nothing. You were just like jumping and running like it was normal. And then here's the thing that fucked me up, that really messed me up. I used to pee, right? And they couldn't figure out why I was peeing.
You was peeing?
Now, peeing, everything in the bed.
Okay.
And then I found out when I got older, I said, when they would, they talk about, I hear it on the news or something, they said, when a kid pees in bed, they're going through a traumatic experience. And they don't know what it is. Why is it dead? But that was because they didn't know the technology. Nobody didn't know. They was like, didn't know whatever with research. It was like, oh, well, kid, this white kid big. But then now, it was like, do all the new research. It's like, they were kids, and there's something traumatic happening in your life. So this shit was happening to me, and I'm fucking urinating the thing. When I went to 6th grade camp, we all had to go to camp in 6th grade, right?
Right.
So I go to camp. They asked us, parents, do your kid pee she on the top bunk. So we were in bunks, and I had to get up by the bunk. And then people on the bottom bunk because they were peeving me. And so what they used to do is the guy would come in the middle of the night, take us all to the bathroom, walk across this cold ass cement floor, and then use the bathroom overnight. And then I'm like, I'm tracked out as somebody peeing in bed, that, and nobody knows why. And it's traumatic experience. So the shit I was going through. So that's why I said PTSD in the black neighborhood. People, a lot of these kids are going through it, and they not get no type of therapy.
Yeah.
Or to deal with the fact. Same shit that somebody going in a war and see overseas, they have to go get therapy. But then inner city kids are exposed to shit like this that they shouldn't see. They see it murders, they see it this, they see that, they see it abuse, they see it drunk dance, looking at mama dance and shit. And it's like, kids got part. They're like, and then they don't protect the kids from that. They're like, don't do this shit in front of my kid. No, they do this shit right there. This kid is screaming or hollering. Don't hit my mom. Don't do this. That's a traumatic experience. And then when my aunt came over and jumped on my dad, so you know what they did? She killed. My aunt came in and took my little sister, put her in the car. Was giving her candy and everything, totally blocking her out from the whole situation. My other sister was in the bed in the room, and she didn't get up. So imagine I'm going in the living room, and my aunt come in, and then she started hitting my dad with a fucking big ass flashlight. And it was because of what my mom instigated. So and my sister was telling me about my aunt. One of them is carrying a gun, and one is fighting. And then come to find out she was dead. So she was married, this, that. The relationships never worked out. Then she fight her off. She started in her older days. She gay, and now she's with women, and she's abusing these women. Her body, it just kept going, and so I'm seeing this, and then I'm like, I'm losing respect for the whole family. Like I stopped going to Christmas parties, everything. I'm like, I don't want to be part of this family. And you guys keep acting up. I'm burning what you got with the whole family here. So then my sister gonna tell me, well, one time I wasn't born yet. My mom called her sisters because they were gangsters. They were like, if she called and says her husband did something or hit her or whatever, she would call them and say, oh, he hit me and he done cut me with a knife and this and that. And my sister said she took the knife, cut herself to go along with the story. So when they came over, she showed them all and said, that's how he cut me with the knife and this and that. So they jumped on my dad previously. And I'm like, then I started talking to my dad. I said, why the fuck you go over there to the Christmas party and they don't give a fuck about you? And he was like, oh, you just want to make family, make the family meaningful, be a big, happy family. I'm like, these motherfuckers are looking down to you guys. Because I'm looking at my aunts and stuff, and what it was the young one who was fighting, she had kids when she was young. So the older sister could have two of them could have babies. So the older one pretty much they didn't adopt, they just took the baby. So the one, they all came out here from Texas, and she took her oldest baby and raised it as her. So I'm thinking this is her baby, right? So this shit all put out later in life. You know, like as we older kids
Right.
and we teenagers, and it's
Right.
like, well, my mom. See, when they get drunk, truth comes out. So we would be going over to the house at my aunt's house, and we would at the party. She lived in Fletcher Park, in this nice black area, and she lived on a hill. So her house was up on the hill, peeked out, overlooking the city. So, but this was in the hood, you know. So it was kind of like she was ghetto fat. And so when we would come there, they had a bar, they would be drinking, and then they put the kids in one room, and then they'd be in one area, and then they'd be over there drinking and this and that, and then it all ends in a fight. A fight would break out. Something happened, somebody, every time, a fight would break out. And then just knowing, it was like, you know, the family name was children. So the brothers that was in Texas, they were known for fighting. And the sisters were known for fighting too. So I'm figuring this shit out as I go. Okay, imagine this. Just imagine your mama, her family is a violent family. And you go into the Christmas party and you wonder why happened in a Christmas fight. A fight in the party. And it's just in nature. And then they were saying if anybody, you know, got in trouble or whatever, we would mount up and we go and we would fuck up the spouse or whatever. And I was like, wow. I was like, oh, they call that close-knitted family. So your spouse, open game. I said, wow, okay. That's how it goes. At that point, I was figuring, check. Don't go over there to that motherfucking house no more. You know, this as a kid, I'm 10 years old. I'm like, I'm not going over there no motherfucking more. So when Christmas comes, our parents would give us all our gifts, and then we'd be like, go eat dinner or whatever at the aunt's house. And it'd be a big Christmas party. I stopped going. And they would all call back to the house. Like, why you ain't coming over, Chuck? Why you? I'm like, oh no, my stomach hurt. You know, I got a stomach ache. I'm better off this year. And they didn't know what was happening. At that point, I was like, every time they were like different parties, Thanksgiving or whatever, they would be going, and I'm like, I'm gonna stay. And then it was notorious that I'm not going. And a couple times I went over when I was older, right? When I was like in high school. So my sister was a cheerleader, right? So of course she was there with all these white girls, and she brought one white girls, like they wanted to come to the hood, and then the black people wanted to go hang out with the white people, so they would stay out there, spend the night, whatever. So my sister was like the source to come into the hood. So they would come and say, oh yeah, cheerleader, da da da. So they would be coming after the black guys. So then I'm over at the house, for a holiday party or whatever.
Right.
What a holiday party? It was just something. But they were drinking, and then my sister came over and brought the cheerleader. So imagine this black family. She walks in the door with a blonde white. And so now my uncles are saying, oh, shit. So now they over talking about themselves, like, you fucking with that? So they put it like, that's my girlfriend. And I'm like, no, man, I ain't fucking with no white girls, dude. No, not me. And then they were just like, they don't give a fuck. They're like, hey, she got money. She'll take care of you. Da, 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 da. They would put that in my head. And, I'm 15, and I'm like, man, let's be with that shit. So now they all talking and whispering around me, like, yeah, go for that white girl, yeah, that white girl, right? And whispering it. But if their wives would have heard what they were saying, they would have kicked their ass. And I was like, you know what, man, I'm gonna put other foods. I'm tired of you. You know, this the uncles and shit. And I'm like, they done lost their damn mind. So I told my sister, I said, hey, like, y'all go somewhere else. You got a car. But you got a car, you cool. Let's go somewhere else. They were talking shit like about me and saying I'm fucking with Trina, and I'm like, I don't even like the girl. You know, I did date some white girls, but that wasn't what I was fucking. And of course, I play football, so you know, they were like, "Oh, what's up with your brother?" Da da da, that type of shit. And I was like, "Nah, I'm cool with Chili. I got girlfriends elsewhere." And I'm like, I don't want no parts in this shit. And then they were just assuming I'm fucking with the girl. I was like, dude, they're like, yeah, do that shit, yeah, I'm like, yeah. And that's what I was exposed to. And I said, you know why I'm dysfunctional? You know, I said, if I listen to you motherfuckers, I'd be fucked up. And I used to go off on them. Like, I'd be like, I don't want to hear this shit. And I would leave because of the shit they would be talking. Or I would go outside and, like, I'd be looking at the sky and, like, this is the worst situation. And I'd be outside the whole time. And then it's like, I go home and I was like, I'll never be back here again. See, they tricked me. They tricked me. They told me things are different, and it's just worse. And I'm like, I don't want to be a part of this family. I don't want. And then you know why you realize you had a fucked up family at a young age? And dude, I couldn't wait to go to college. I was like, nigga, as soon as I turned 18, nigga, 18, I was gone. I packed my shit and I was going to college. I got accepted. My mom came with me. It was like, I didn't give her a chance to keep me out of college. I was like, oh, it was like, yeah, when you turn 18, I'll be done at 17 and a half. I never make the 18th birthday because I'll be out this motherfucker. As soon as I get that college, I'm out of here. So I was just concentrating on my college and all this. I'm like, I'm out of here. And then when I came up to LA, the one crazy aunt was in Christ, which is the next city over. And picture this. So her and mom, this is what I knew this shit. Her and my mom used to argue every day, right? Drawing out, cussing each other out. And then they'd be talking on the phone like nothing ever happened. So then I started realizing what my younger sister was doing. Because she's just like my other aunt. And I said, you used to see this shit. So you acted just like that aunt. And she goes off when you say that. And I said, just like that aunt. You like to start shit. And that's what she used to do. The aunt used to call her mom and push her buttons. They'd be going at it on the phone, right? And then they'd be like, nothing happened the next day. And I'm like, this shit, this ain't normal. I be hearing them on the phone cussing and shit. And then I'm like, they talking the next day like, yeah, what's that? How you doing? I'm like, are you kidding me? So this is the last story. So when I went to college, right? When I came up, it's a thing called summer break. So all the freshmen had to go to 2 weeks of school, stay in the dorms to get adapted to going to college, right? So they had me doing classes, going to class, going to the dorm, just getting adapted to going, changing to the college life. So I went to the program, and my aunt, so my mom was like, would drive up to her house and eat dinner or whatever, and spend the weekend there. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna stay somewhere else. And so I went by my aunt's house, like, okay, I got all this furniture here. I got the bed here. You ain't got to make nothing from San Diego. And I was like, well, I'm going to get a U-Haul truck and bring all my stuff. And she was like, no. I'll give you everything, right? So I didn't take my bed. I just took some other stuff and a lot of my own personal stuff.
Right.
And I took the U-Haul truck and drove to LA. I went to her house. And then she gave me the stuff and I took it to my place I was staying, to the house. I put it in there and then I drove back to San Diego. So on the way back to San Diego, she was going at it with my mom. And she says, your boy kept here begging me for stuff. He was begging me for a bed, all this stuff. And, I everything, he begged so hard. And she was telling my mom this. My mom said, don't give all that shit back to her. You got everything. And I said, she told me not to bring nothing. She said, do not bring your stuff. You can use this stuff and you can take it back to your place. So that's what she was telling me. And she said, she told me you was up there begging for all this shit. And you drove the truck up to her house. She was like, you just up there begging, kept asking for stuff. I said, ain't that a bitch? And I looked at my sister because she was with me. I said, can you believe that? She said, I begged for this shit. What the fuck would I borrow a U-Haul truck and drive up to LA for and leave all my shit here? But she told me, don't mess up stuff at your house. Just take this shit. I'm going to throw it away anyway. So she convinced me, and it was just ammunition to fuck with my mom. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, I can't believe that shit. It was like, that's why I was like, this family is so fucking dysfunctional. I was like, oh my God. Kim, I don't know how I made it out. I think, a lot of people that do good really well in college and stuff, they mess up circumstances at home. So they do it to get away. And then they said, I'm going to be better than my mom. I'm going to do this. I'm going to have a better life. Like my buddy in Vallejo, is up north. He said, he was talking about how his relationship was so fucked up with his dad. He said, I raised my kid totally the opposite of what my dad did for me. How he treated me. I did total opposite. I said, I'm going to give everything, support, and everything to my son. And I'm not going to treat him like my dad treated me. And then we were talking the other day, he was like, my dad used to go, his dad used to go fishing all the time, right? So he used to go fishing with this one guy. He was a Vietnam vet. So he had a boat. But he used to always drink. So imagine you go and eat, drink, get drunk. He had to deal with, this whole Vietnam thing. So Darren said, I don't ever want to go fishing with my dad. So that was his way of striking back at his dad. Like, I'm never going to go fishing with him. And so with his dad, I'd be like, no, can I go fishing with you this time? Because I wanted to go fishing with him because my dad didn't go fishing. And I said, can I go with you guys? But Darren had already had a thing said, I'll never go fishing with him. And that's how he was punishing his dad. So I talked him into going with us. We went to fishing with him and his dad. So we got a boat and we was on the lake. And then he used to talk shit to Darren, to his son. And I started picking it up. And, he was cool to me, but he was telling his son, hey, do this, do that, do that. And I started realizing what he was doing. He was mentally fucking. And then he's like, and then I looked at Darren and I looked at him and I was like, okay, I get it. I won't ask to go fishing no more. And you can see how he was playing favoritism to me, but he was abusive verbally to him. And then he would tell me what his dad used to say to him. Because he was like overweight as a kid. He was like, y'all be fat, y'all be stupid, and all kind of shit. And then the nail that was in the coffin was his mom. When he was graduating from college, he was in the other room, but he could hear him talking. Yeah.
Hold on. Alexa off. Charles?
So yeah, so he could hear him talking. And he said, the mom said, do you want to give some money for his graduation? And so, can you handle that?
Yeah, Alexa off. Sorry.
So the mom said he would put some money in his card for his graduation. And the dad said no. And I was like, wow. And he said, you remember when I was before college? Because he went on a football scholarship. And he said, you remember I got out and I went to JC for a couple of years, played football there. But we was going to the gym. So I used to work out with them, right?
Right.
They were all linebackers. So I'm working out with these guys who, I was a running back, but they were linebackers. So they used to lift a lot of heavy weight. So I started lifting the weight because they was like, I'm tired of taking this shit off the bar for you. So I started lifting about almost the weight they were doing. So I was like, get yoked out and buffed up like them. But they was going to go play college ball. Gee, I was just doing it so I could get big for the women. So I went to college. I'm all yoked out and shit. And then they went to college. They went on scholarships. So I motivated him to leave. Because I left to go to college. Like, shit, if Chuck can do it, I can go too. So a lot of my friends, after I left, they all started going to college. And then they never went back home. I was like, I didn't go back home. They didn't go back home. And it's like they stayed where they went to college at. That was their new life. And most of them came from just fucked up situations. And it was like, San Diego, it was on the West Coast, right? But it was like Mississippi. The mentality was like Mississippi. Country, bulking ass niggas in San Diego. The white people had the city divided. There's a freeway. If you look at the map, there's a freeway that goes through the middle of the city. It's called the 8, like number 8.
Mm-hmm.
And on one side was the economic divide, where all the blacks are south, between south and down to the Mexican border, and then north, that was the white area. So from there on up, as you go north, that's why like La Jolla and all those areas, it's all the rich white people. That's why I went to school out in Claremont in the rich white area. I'm like, I made a decision to go to a white school. And I said, I'd rather deal with the racism at a younger age, understand how to deal with it, as opposed to going to a black school and then getting exposed to this shit when I started working in a regular job. I said, you need to understand the mentality of white folks before that you'll get fired because they'll call you an irate, whatever, pissed off black man. So I was dealing with that shit at high school level. I was going to school out in the white area. Dude, I would date the white girls. The girl found her dad found out I was black. And he said, I don't want you ever talking to him no more. And it was crazy. One time I was talking to him. Right when he found out, because the neighbor told him, we used to go to our house at lunch, right? And then the neighbor saw me. And I told the girl, I said, don't tell your dad I'm black, because this is not going to go over well. So she was like so much in love. She was like, oh yeah, my boyfriend, black, right? And then the guy, so the next time I called, he picked up the phone, right?
Right.
So the mom and the dad was in the living room. And the guy said, Chuck. So he over the phone, I sound like I was white. So he was like, Chuck, how you doing? I was like, fine. He said, this is Mr. Blah, blah, blah. He said, now mind you, my mom picked up the phone, right?
Right.
She had a habit of picking up the phone, eavesdropping on my phone call. So she picked up the phone, and so I knew she was on the phone. And so the guy was like, hey, I want you to do me a favor. I don't want you ever to talk to my daughter or see her anymore. I understand you're still over my house. Don't ever come over my house again. Don't be afraid to go with my daughter. And so he was pretty much saying, don't fuck with my white daughter no more. And my mom was on the phone. And I'm like, oh, shit. So all I was thinking about was what my mom was listening to. And what was happening, because I knew I couldn't get put out there like that. But my mom heard it. So she got the phone. She was like, ooh, ooh. And she went to the house and said, oh my God, this nigga, this little nigga. He said, little nigga. That white man just told him and told his ass off. He told him, don't fuck with my daughter no more.
That's what your mama said, Charles?
Yes. She heard it, and she was like, oh, he told your little nigga ass, don't fuck with his white daughter. And I was like, oh, shit. So this is a weekend, right? So the girl, we had a history class together, right? So I came to class, and I told one of my homeboys what happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he knew because he was in class together. And he knew we was kind of fucking around, right? So he was like, he had a big mouth. And he was like always joking, right? So he came in and he started dropping stuff like, talking to the girl, like, yeah, so, you know, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I heard your dad and tripped out on Chuck, right? I said, why are you talking about this shit? So I said, hey, man, be quiet, motherfucker. So the girl got pissed off, like, you told him? I said, it's a long story. And then she was like, she clapped up, and she was like, I was just going to still see you, but I said, see, I told you, don't tell your dad. I understand. I'm in high school and I understand the racism. You know, your dad, it's like, I hate to say it, but that's what in his blood. I understand that. And I'm telling you, no matter what happened, don't share our relationship with your parents. But you felt compelled that your dad's going to understand. And I was trying to explain to her, I said, we was watching movies. She would take me over there at lunch, cook, fix lunch and shit. And then we went to the movies, hang out. I mean, we had a great time. Like chilling, doing kissing and shit. You know, just doing everything. And then when she told me, I said, that's supposed to be up. And I was like, my whole hustle's gone. You know, it's like, this chick, she just like, she had a car. She would take me different places. And then I played football, so she would come to the games and whatever. And, you know, she's like, oh, this is like my little black hero. But I was like, don't say nothing. And at that age, I knew. And so she fell out. She fell out with me because of what my boy said. She got put on blast. And then she started dating this white woman, this rockin' white woman, right? And, you know, he was nothing compared to me. And she was trying to rub it in my face, right? So she was like hugging it and kissing it with. And I was like, I know it's going to be I was. And I'm like, I would just ignore him. I would just go about my business. And, you know, I was like, you know, better what Bryson does. I didn't trip with it. And she would be like, try to, add his locker and shit, and I was like, I was just totally ignoring it. I was just like, oh, keep going. And I'm like, I mean, I was doing it bad. See, I was a romantic dude at a young age. So I was giving roses, all this shit. And I said, I know this dude can't do that. I'm taking her to get ice cream, we eat and chilling, talking about all kind of stuff. And it's like, that dude, he like a stoner. You know what a stoner is? What dude smoke weed, get high, and you can do drugs. And I'm like, you never can replace me. It's like, once you go black, you never go back. And I know you're trying to live through me, through him, and get what I gave. And then I could tell she was like going off the deep end, and and she was snapping at me, like in the class. We had to like sit apart from each other. She was snapping at me, and and it's like the more I would ignore her, the more she would get pissed off, and she would do things and try to rub it in my face, and I was like, it is what it is. And I just moved on my life. I said, white people can't understand. Like, I'm exposed to trauma. I just came from a dysfunctional family. I just told you what I went through. So imagine this: I'm going to high school and I'm exposed to this, and it's like, I know. Let me tell you how bad it was. The KKK used to be in the open area of our school. You would see remnants of over the weekend, people fucking burning crosses and shit like that. All kind of meetings and crazy shit, paraphernalia. And then we knew that shit was going on at night. And so it's like, when school was out, you had to get on your bus, fuck out of town. Do not come to Claremont or go to certain areas in San Diego, because we knew the white people was crazy. Like El Cajon, where my sister lives now, we couldn't go out to El Cajon. Other than to play football, we couldn't go hang out in that area at all. That's how the racist San Diego was. It's like, stay in your area. This is good. You got your area, stay your ass over there. And when you're dealing with that, it's like, you're dealing with this, and it's like, oh man, I'm ready to leave. That's why I went to LA, because LA was a big melting pot. And there was more opportunity for a black man to do something. I said, San Diego ain't gonna let me. These Jewish white people got this shit on lock. So I took off. I left town, man. I'm out of here. I said, between my family and the racism, I'm gone. Let me go somewhere else. But see, I was on knowledge of the racism and all the other shit. So now I'm going to, I'm just going to shit I shouldn't see. My innocence is gone. So now I'm moving on with my life, and I'm like, I'm not looking back. Like my mom be like, come on home, baby, come on home, mama. I'm like, man, I'm busy, mom. I can't go. I'll come down, whatever. I was like, I'm down there and hear all this bullshit. See, I'm like, I'm telling you about my life. So I know it's the same thing with you. Your life, your family, the same thing. Like you talk about your sister, it's mental. Like right now with my younger sister, I told her, until you get some mental health, I'm not going to talk to you. Because you are doing some mental fucking shit. And you are pushing my button. And you are going back to childhood again. You was shit. And you're doing like never used to do, mama. And I'm not going to allow you to do it until you get some mental health. And then she said, and you know, talking about, I'm a mama, I'm a wife, and I'm a this and that. And I don't have no mental problem. I was like, now that right there, like, you know, you're not gonna get no help. You think you're okay. And I told you, we both need mental help. And I said, I'm seeking the help. You think it's okay. Like, my mom was fucked up.